begins the craziness of high school basketball. These two programs have been the cream of the crop in the Girls City League here in Boston. Always fun to see the future of Boston basketball. Boy going to work. Somehow gets it to go, and the foul. Jordan off the up fake.
That's the kind of control finish you want to have.
Aiden from way downtown.
Big play to follow up that push.
The Tech Boston Bears have won back-to-back championship in 2019. Hello, Boston, and welcome to Madison Park High School in Roxbury for the Battle of the Complex. As tonight, the O'Brien Tigers will be taking on school building rival Madison Park Cardinals.
Unfriendly neighbors, right?
That's right. Hello, everybody. I'm Pat Flaherty, joined by my partner, as always, Alan Platt. And Alan, unfriendly neighbors on the basketball court.
There you go. Right.
In school. Definitely friendly, but O'Brien taking on Madison. We got two teams who sit right next to each other here in Roxbury on Malcolm X Boulevard, and they always sort of peek in on each other. One has practice, and then one has a game right after. They sort of check each other out, but both teams out of the gate struggling a little bit as we start the season.
Really, and I think both coaches are a little disappointed because of the record, obviously, but
right.
I think that they were thinking that their seniors would have done a better job out of the chute in terms of leadership. So they're hoping that now, around midway in the season, a little more than midway, they can start to rev up some energy and get the teams together. Both in the similar situation. They're just not used to being under 500 at this point in the season.
That's right. Now you look at Madison Park first, and one senior that has had a good start to the season is in a unique situation tonight. That's Antoine Foster for Madison Park, number 15, starting center for the Cardinals basketball team, but on the football field, he played for somebody else.
Oh, it was unusual, and but like you said, two-sport athlete, really good at both sports. Matter of fact, so he's one of those players. We see him every once in a while who would definitely have a decision to make in terms of trying to play at college. You want to play football or basketball, and it might change his mind during the course of each season.
That's right.
But we're looking for him tonight to be in the middle on both backboards, rebound, especially offensive rebounding, to help the Cardinals get second chances.
Yeah, that's right. Madison Park didn't have a football team this season, so he played for O'Brien during the high school football season. So now he's going against his guys here in the winter. Meanwhile, for O'Brien, obviously big loss with Rivaldo Soares graduating over the past season, one of the best players we've seen come through the City League in a long time. One player who has continued to improve for O'Brien, however, is Conan McCusker, very good shooter from the outside. He's our spotlight player tonight. Yeah,
McCusker has had a really good line of development. We remember him a couple of seasons ago as a very young player, would just come off the bench when they needed some outside shooting. He coming in as like a specialist. Okay?
That's right.
Started developing his defense, develops his ball handling a little bit, and now, like you mentioned, he's more of a complete player.
No question. I mean, we saw him actually back in the city semifinals last season, knock down 5 threes in a row, 8 threes overall. He had 27 points in the city semifinals a season ago. I mean, he can shoot it up, and then anytime he's wide open, Coach Brock said he's going to let it fly.
Oh, definitely. And that's one of the weapons that you hope will be on fire tonight. Nice crowd, like you said. Both schools, both teams are in the same complex, so really good turnout on a Friday night.
No question. Now, for more on this game here tonight, folks, as we see the stats there for Conan McCusker, more on this game, a little more info on what kind of night this is tonight. We're going to go to our sideline reporter, Michelle Fenelon. Michelle?
All eyes are on Madison Park head coach Dennis Wilson as he goes for his 400th career win. Dennis told me that this game is a special one. He said every game is a big one, but this one is different. He said he's dedicated to all the former Madison Park players, his parents, and especially his brother, Harry J. Wilson, who he lost on July 16th. Pat?
And thanks very much, Michelle. Coach Wilson unfortunately lost his brother to cancer over the summer, so certainly a heavy heart there for him. But big milestone coming up. His next win will be 400. That's just an amazing achievement for a high school basketball.
Well, this is Coach Dennis Wilson Court.
That's right.
It was honored. He got that honor a few years ago, and like you said, 400. It shows a couple of things: longevity, commitment. All right, and just the love of coaching young men in basketball, and that's what Dennis has been all about. I go back with Dennis since the early days. I'm telling you, a long time. We both graduated from English High together, and So he's been a sports enthusiast his entire life.
That's right. He spent a lot of time, I think at least 3 decades, with the football program here at Madison Park as well, until stepping away from that a couple of years ago. Him and Coach Roosevelt Robinson did that for a long time. So he has been a staple at Madison Park High for decades. And
still loves
seeing
it.
The results.
Still loves it. Yeah.
Still as energetic as ever.
Like I said earlier, I mean, he's disappointed with the under 500 record right now, but he's going to keep working his players and working them for the rest of the season.
No question. So we got the Battle of the Complex here tonight at Madison Park High. We're just about set to go here at center court. And I think we're actually going to stay here at Madison Park High. It looks like we're almost set to go.
They're ready
we're
to go.
We're going to take a look at the starting lineup. The JV game went a little late, so these guys are itching to get going here. There's O'Brien's starting lineup here tonight. Pierre now in the starting lineup for the Tigers. Mendez, we talked about how good McCusker is, but Mendez is, as Coach Brock has said, probably their best and most important player. Very good playmaker for this O'Brien team. Wiles, who is another returning contributor from a year ago, and then Okafor, who's been a big step up at the center position, much improved here for the Tigers this season. Meanwhile, for Madison Park, you got Karuma at the point, Lopez and Slayton on the wings, Nichols and Foster underneath. We're just about set to go here at Madison Park High. Got Okafor there to do the opening jumping duties. There's McCusker, 3-point shot gets blocked to start off.
That's the point you made, Pat, with these teams see each other in between and after practices, so that's a play that O'Brien sets up on the tap. If they win, McCusker slides out to one of the corners for a 3-point shot. Madison's ready for it and get the block.
Mike Nichols gets the ball knocked away here for Madison. Andre Smith was the one with the rejection for the Cardinals. Karuma trying to find some space, couldn't convert underneath. Okafor deflected it. Here comes Mendez. Back down the other end. Now he's going to pull it out for the Tigers. Wiles inside to Okafor.
Looks like you got a little longer since last season. Good job there for the dunk.
Mendez fires from 3 off the turnover, but can't convert.
Both teams like the fast pace. Both Coach Brock and Dennis Wilson for years consider themselves defensive specialists. It's going to be travel.
Mentioned how both teams are struggling out of the gate. O'Brien with just 2 wins on the season. Madison with just 1 as Okafor airballs the corner 3 as the rebound comes down to Karoma, but it goes off of Musa, so that'll stay with the Tigers.
A lot of energy the first couple minutes of the game. Like you said, it's a lot of familiarity, but more importantly, both teams just want to get a win. They're just not used to struggling like this early parts of the season.
As you mentioned at the beginning, Alan, too, nice crowd here tonight with the 2 teams that
Another
play in this
travel.
building.
Yeah, it's, well, you know, a lot of your classmates will stick around. Parents come Friday night. Like you said, the JV game did run long, so people still have more time to get in and see most of this varsity game. So
Wiles comes down with the rebound for the Tigers. McCusker into Okafor. Big fella. Can't hit the short jumper. Here comes Lopez. Stopping, popping, but he can't hit. Okafor with the rebound for O'Brien. Wiles.
good
Puts it
hustle by
back
Wiles,
up and in, and the foul. Misses the layup initially.
It's like you anticipated the miss and just went after the ball, just stole it right out of the Madison Park rebounder and got the putback. And watch this. It looks like he knows it's going to come off, so he used that strong left hand to. He could actually be given a steal on that, too. A rebound, steal, and a hoop.
Wiles misses the free throw. He's got 3 rebounds so far here in the first quarter. let's just say free throws for either team have not been pretty to start the season. They both have very much struggled from the line.
That's always one of the sort of factors that you see when teams are struggling. The way these two have bad records, right? That's just a total defensive lapse to let him go strong right and get that easy dunk.
Wayne Wiles dropping the hammer, and it's a 6-0 lead for the Tigers.
See, that dunk has the Tigers getting the double team defense going, trying to trap. Watch, see, there's just no help on the weak side. I think he was surprised how open he was. He was expecting to get some kind of opposition.
You see Coach Brock. And it looks like Coach Wilson wants a timeout here with 5:36 left to go in the first quarter. O'Brien on top, 6-0 here through the first 2.5 minutes. And it seems like O'Brien, they still missed some shots. They missed a free throw. I mean, but they seem to be getting what they want.
Oh, no doubt. And that's that. I mean, that last dunk. I mean, you make a quick move and look at the defense, size it up, go right to the lane. No one even takes a step towards you. So that's easy. I'm sure that's what Dennis Wilson's talking about right now. Offense. His philosophy over the years has always been offense can take care of itself, but if you don't play defense, it won't matter. You can't play high school basketball expecting to outscore teams all the time.
I say we got two of the best dressed coaches here tonight too, Coach.
Over the years, no doubt. No,
these two guys like to do it up. Folks, you want to follow us on Facebook, go to facebook.com/Game of the Week Boston. A lot of good stuff up on that site. Make sure you like us on Facebook and also follow us on Twitter @Boston City TV. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW.
Yeah, over the years, it's funny you're making a good point about we're laughing about this. It's true. I know in Dennis Wilson's case, he purposely has always been suit and tie as he wants to be. That's part of the image he wants to portray with his players. And practice you're in sweats, but game time, you're dressed like business.
Nice little take, couldn't hit the runner there that time for Nichols. Ball gets poked away. Here comes Pierre. Out to Mendez. Manny Mendez hits it off the window.
Nice finish. Good job to slide his body in between the basket and the defender. Get the bank.
Pierre comes away with another steal for O'Brien. Wiles.
Travel, yeah. He
won another one.
He saw the lane. He saw the exact same lane. Forgot to put the ball down. A lot of energy out here since first 3 minutes. O'Brien's going to stay in that three-quarter court press. And there's another steal.
Pierre somehow gets that to go.
Talk about English. McCusker, nice steal. Buries a foul line jumper. Oh yeah, I think Nash needs another timeout. Yeah. Dennis, he won't wait long. And if he has to use them, he's got to get this team to wake up. I mean, sloppy passes, soft passes. That's the worst thing you can do against a three-quarter court press.
Every starter now for O'Brien has scored a field goal here in the first quarter. Coach Brock talked about how his team, he felt like they weren't quite giving it everything on every single play. He mentioned to me earlier in the week that, the best teams in the city, the Tech Bostons, the New Missions, they don't take plays off. Yeah. He said he thought some of his guys were taking plays off.
Yeah, you see McCusker steal and Basley gets himself under control to the foul line. Coaches always say, if you're going to stop the dribble, go at least to the foul line because that's within your range. If you have a teammate for a layup, give it up. If you don't, shoot the ball. But you're right, and another thing, you try to get out of a losing slump. You change things around in practice. You have some incentive stuff going on. You may switch up your starting lineups. You may play with your rotation in terms of who's going to come in. Because this is the time of year where coaches are usually figuring out who are my top 8 or 9 players as you look forward to trying to make a final run to get into the state tournament. These teams have a lot of work to do. Matter of fact, they probably won't make it this season because they've really dug up a deep hole for themselves. But you gotta like the way the O'Briens come up with all this energy, especially on defense, and that's led to good offense. Another travel. Yeah.
Slayton shuffled his feet that time. The sophomore guard.
Madison Park just, I don't know, this can't do much of anything right. Haven't scored yet. They've only had 3 shots here in the first 4 minutes.
Constantine Thompson checked in for Madison Park. As there you see Pierre going all the way in for the layup.
Nobody stepped up again.
Sotomayor to the basket. He was unable to convert. Gets his own rebound. Back up top. Thompson over to Lopez. Good swing. Corner 3. Doesn't fall for Madison.
A little push in the back, yeah. There's Mendez, yeah. Pushing the back on the rebound action.
Constantine Thompson, number 12 for Madison, a senior. He's the only returning player from the varsity squad last year.
Well, that's the other thing, turnover. We probably should have mentioned that as far as why Madison's struggling so much, but I haven't seen a Madison team in a long time be so disorganized to start a game. It's one thing to have a couple of turnovers, but we're going on halfway through the first quarter. You haven't scored a point yet.
Almost a steal that time for O'Brien. That was Ibrahim Ba looking for the.
Yeah, the passes were for Madison just aren't sharp or crisp.
Cardinals still looking for their first bucket. Slayton, runner, doesn't drop for him. Thompson, offensive rebound, loses it inside, gathers it.
Good job. Yeah.
And they squeeze it home underneath.
Thompson actually had more to do with that hoop than his teammate.
So Mike Nichols scores the first field goal for the Cardinals here, halfway through the first quarter.
Okafor.
Muscling inside for the hoop in the heart.
Well, you had a height advantage, but you also had a strength advantage because watch this baseline move. A little bit of a bump. Doesn't matter. Move the ball from your left hand to your right. Bank it home. Well, 16-2. Yeah, I like that play inside. Finish off the three-point play.
Before now with 5 to lead all scorers. Thompson.
Gonna be a travel, yeah.
They got caught near the half-court line.
That's at least 4 travels on Madison Park already in the first quarter. I'm sorry, 5. Wow. This is as tough a start as you can imagine.
James Scarborough and Jesse Hammond coming in for O'Brien. As Okafor and Wiles head to the bench.
Yeah, 2-3 zone now for Madison Park, trying to get some players around Okafor on the baseline.
Pierre short with the 3. Lopez trying to chase after the rebound. And then he gets fouled by Pierre.
I think Pierre hit him from the back. But again, like you said, Pat, you get O'Brien getting all the shots that they want. Good looks. Meanwhile, Madison Park is really struggling to turn over any kind of half-court offense.
Cusker back in for the Tigers. 15-point lead for Madison Park. Another turnover. Ibrahim Ba converts.
Nice hesitation to get that bank layup.
Lopez, strong drive, scores off the window for the Cardinals.
That was an angry play because he was embarrassed by getting stripped at half court. Nice steal.
Now Madison Park almost got the steal. Pierre, scoop shot is good.
It's hard to explain, but you're just seeing a far more intense O'Brien team in blue than what Madison Park's doing.
Nichols inside gets rejected underneath by Hammond.
We always talk about that. When your offense is going so well, your defense really picks up.
Cliff Mendez now coming in for the Tigers, just a freshman. That runner no good. Thompson off the offensive rebound, but couldn't convert underneath. Ba to McCusker. Can't leave him open. Short with that one. Mendez for three.
You hear Dennis Wilson yelling all the way from over here, talking about you got to box out first. Hasn't been much of that so far in this quarter.
Looks like that foul was on Asamidi Izabazua for O'Brien. On the drive. A little bit of contact inside, but it was Martins who couldn't convert.
Yeah, I see the O'Brien players thought that McCusker was going to let that three-pointer fly from the top, so they were all running in for an offensive rebound. They're stuck in the lane. 3 seconds.
Wayne Wiles back in for the Tigers. Thompson.
Hesitation.
Nice move inside by Constantine. Couldn't hit the shot. Stays with it. Good pass inside. A layup, no good.
Someone is just in bad luck. I mean, they made that time. They made 2 real nice cuts to the basket. Neither one can make the layup.
Ball off the up fake. Can't hit the floater.
That time the defense came over from the weak side, take away the shot.
Runner doesn't fall. That was Karoma looking for that basket. Here comes Wiles back down the other end. Trying to get his own rebound. It's ripped away.
Good hustle. And most of the steals have been going to O'Brien, but that time Madison Park made a nice play.
Drive to the basket.
A lot of control.
Cusker, fade away, doesn't fall for him. Slayton with the rebound for Madison Park. That's pushed away by Wiles.
Good hands.
Wiles off the give and go. Another basket and one.
Talk about going baseline to baseline, Pat. Made a great steal right in front of us on the defensive end. Sprinted down court. McCusker waited, didn't have a shot, gave it right back to his teammate who made the steal.
More substitutions. Let's take another look at it.
So watch McCusker. So he could have shot that, but he knows his teammate just made the steal down the other end and had a height advantage inside in the lane. So
both Wiles and
everything
Okafor
going right. It's amazing.
Those two guys, you see another look at it. Both these guys are finishing through contact really well.
Coach Rock's over there thinking, why did we lose 7 games already? It's like, we could have had this kind of energy.
Wiles can't finish the three-point play.
They're reaching, and now you're getting a little too excited about trying to get steals.
One thing for O'Brien, the reason why they do have an under 500 record, they've played some tough schedule to start.
Yeah,
they lost Severian, Malden Catholic, a couple of teams out of the City League, and then they just lost to Latin Academy on Wednesday night. Latin Academy having a really good season so far.
Mm-hmm. And earlier, Boston Latin beat them in a 2-point game.
That's
so
right.
they've had their share of close games. They lost. Yeah, they had a couple of 2 3-point games. And Latin Academy has those kids who've grown up from last season.
Yeah, it's almost like these two teams are in a position right now that Latin Academy was in a season ago.
There you go, right, yeah.
When you have
good,
some
good comparison, really good comparison.
Sophomores and juniors that didn't quite get time the year before.
No, I'll tell you what, for Madison Park, one good thing, that quarter is over because they couldn't have done much else wrong in that quarter.
Saved by the buzzer are the Cardinals. O'Brien with a 19-point lead thanks to this young man, Wayne Wiles, stuffing it home for the Tigers. We'll be right back with the second quarter here on Game of the Week.
Red hat. Oops. Red shirt, blue shirt, yellow shirt. Oops. Yellow pants. red pants, green pants. Oops.
Welcome back to Madison Park High School in Roxbury as we are just getting ready for the second quarter here on Game of the Week. Battle of the Complex between the Madison Park Cardinals hosting the O'Brien Tigers. And just before we get going here, our sideline reporter Michelle Fenelon has an update for us. Michelle, what do you have? I think Michelle's got a problem with her mic there, so we'll see if we can get that fixed for next time. Just about ready to start the second quarter. 19-point lead for O'Brien. Slayton firing up a three, buries it for the Cardinals.
Trying to have a, they tried a double team at half court. O'Brien did and gave up the first wide open three-pointer of the game so far.
Mendez
Travel
took
there.
an extra step there. That's
Two veteran officials tonight, Anthony Pitts and Marcel Holiday. They're doing Boston games for many years.
feed inside to Lopez. Got a foul underneath.
I always find it interesting how emotion can get spurred up or down. Now, ever since the steal from Madison Park from Lopez, he's had much more energy. He scored a basket, had a nice strong drive, got a steal himself. There he is taking the jump shot, much more confident shot from the corner.
Almost a steal there for the Cardinals.
See, now we're seeing Madison do a lot of what they're used to doing. That wasn't evident in the first quarter. Pierre trying to set up their offense again.
Inside to Okafor, who's fouled on the floor.
I wonder if they ever play Okafor and Martins together. I mean, they've been sort of switching them in and out, flip-flopping, but I guess maybe if they're playing a bigger team, they might try it.
Here resetting for O'Brien.
Much better D by Madison Park. Maybe the kids are just more comfortable playing man because they're doing a much better job. They were in that 2-3 a lot of the first quarter, and they're just getting beat with the outside shooting and also drives to the basket. Now they're probably more physical.
Just had a shot there of Antoine Foster. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten any time yet.
Well, he was in there with the warm-ups. Thought he was okay.
Mendez, offensive putback. Lopez gets it knocked away. Yeah. Too far for Mendez. And that's going to come back to the Cardinals. Substitution for Madison Park. Mike Nichols coming back in.
A little too much one-on-one with the ball handling.
Ruma finding a teammate, and now we got a foul over near the sideline. Looks like that's going to be on James Scarborough.
Yeah, baseline drive. And a little too much contact.
17 fouls for the Tigers, so that'll be a 1-on-1 situation from here till halftime for Madison Park. Now heading to the free throw line is Mike Nichols shooting a 1-on-1. A lot of substitutions for O'Brien here in the first half.
Well, it's one of those things like you mentioned about Brock with the practices. He's probably told you one of the incentives is the harder you work, the more chance you have to get into the game at any point. First half, second half, whatever. And a lot of times that'll work, especially with young players. Young players who are in like freshmen and sophomores who really don't expect to play a lot, but if they're given that opportunity with the incentive, this is where you'll see it.
Nichols knocks down both free throws. A welcome sight for Coach Wilson as Madison has had a real tough time at the line. A 16-point game.
Nice steal.
Lopez with the steal, had nowhere to go with it though. Wiles inside to Okafor, and
3 seconds again. Yeah.
Oh, 3 seconds. You're right.
Yeah.
Nichols knocks down the corner jumper. And Nichols got a nice little stroke there.
He does, because McCusker actually closed out pretty well on the shot, but Nichols concentrated, buried it pretty easily.
Cuts it down to a 14-point lead here with 5:08 left to go in the second quarter. And you're seeing a little bit of energy here from Madison Park. They're in a 7-2 run.
Much more energy in this second quarter. Watch Nichols. See, McCusker did a good job. Hand up. Just better offense. High school basketball, you know, it can change, go back and forth so quickly. I mean, look for that whole first quarter. You had O'Brien totally in control, like 100%. Yet second quarter here, more energy from Madison Park, starting to get a couple of baskets. They made 2 jumpers from this corner over right in front of our table. Got a couple of steals, some good hustle defense, rebounding better. You can turn the game around very quickly.
Out of the timeout. 14-point lead here for O'Brien. Coach Wilson coaching up his young guys.
Okay, now they're going to go into a dominant shooter. They're looking for a double team the ball, try to get some steals here in the half-court set. And that's the one guy you don't want to leave open. I mean, they lucked out on that. Because he used an easy 3 points for him.
Custer once again short with the 3. He's yet to hit one.
Yeah, I thought he made one early in the first quarter.
I think you're right.
Stop the game. Another steal by Madison. It's going to be a held ball. Yeah. See, the one thing that Madison's still doing, they're dribbling one-on-one a little too much. Getting swallowed up. High school coaches always tell you it's the hardest thing to get out of players. No matter what, with the guards, forwards, anything. Stop dribbling the ball. Ball moves faster in the pass, always.
Nichols
nice drive.
Forcing the action. He's going to get 2 more from the strike.
Yeah, Nichols helped trying to get that steal and then took the pass to have a strong drive to the basket. Watch him try to finish here. Bumps right there. Took him off the shot. Does have a nice stroke, like you mentioned. The big fella, he's good concentration.
Four for 4 from the free throw line as Mike Nichols, he cuts the O'Brien lead down to 12. Now a 9-2 run for the Cardinals to get them back in this. Over to McCusker. Conant, that time, connects from long distance.
You can't just keep giving them open ones.
Nichols with the runner, can't get it to go. Trying to get his own offensive rebound, but Okafor
good job.
wrestles
Okafor
it
really
away.
just stole that away.
Mendez for 3, short on the jumper. Stolen right back by Wiles. Other side for McCusker. Okafor rebound, can't put it back up and in.
Yeah, just too big inside that time. You gotta like the way Okafor runs the floor. Gets himself into position. That time made the cut from the baseline and watched it after the cut. Just too big for the guys inside.
Okafor knocks down the foot. Two more substitutions for O'Brien as Pierre comes back in for the Tigers, along with Asamidi Izabazua.
If Coach Brock is going to use this many players into substitution pattern, he'll never have any problem with foul trouble the rest of the season. I mean, even though you're ahead, you're not used to seeing this many players get time. It's only the first half. Foul in the backcourt, so still bonus shooting from Madison Park.
And out at the free throw line for Madison is Ivan Martins. I'm sorry, that's Constantine Thompson.
That's Thompson, yeah. Okay.
He cannot hit the front end. Next foul for Madison will get them in the double bonus. Pierre inside, Okafor. Good ball movement that time from the Tigers. Nichols can't convert inside. Okafor changed the shot, then gets the block. Slayton with a runner, no good.
I'll tell you, Pat, Nichols is working inside. He is working, the big 32. He got 3 different rebounds in that one play in between 2 O'Brien players. Talk about a little bit of a bright spot. This first half, as bad as it's been, I mean, he is working.
It's the first. Hey, not that tall, but Nichols seems to have a strong
he got
size.
some nice, sort of wide, he spreads out pretty well. He knows how to use his body.
Nichols now 6 for 6 from the free throw line.
Good steal. Yeah, came from behind and was able to poke that away from Pierre.
Yeah, Ivan Torres gets the steal. He's now going to get 2 free throws.
Well, you called it was 5, I think 53 when they went to 1-1.
That's right.
So the rest of this before halftime, when you foul by O'Brien, is going to be free throws for Madison. Other than shooting a bunch of threes, this is the best way to get back into a game, especially when you've been down by double digits virtually the entire time. Clock stops, go to the line, double bonus. Everything is 2 shots.
Torres makes both. Free throw shooting for Madison, oddly enough, has kept him in it. Now it's a turnover by O'Brien.
Yeah.
The Cardinals now 8 for 9 from the free throw line. Torres trying to save it. McCusker comes away with a loose ball.
O'Brien's just trying to figure out how to attack this zone. Madison's changed his zone like 3 different times here.
Okafor inside, and he's going to get 2 from the strike.
Yeah. Once you simplify it, you get that pass to the wing or to the corner in that case. Okafor moves well enough to open himself up under the basket. So it's in the corner. Okafor opened himself up. And once he catches the ball, he has a huge height advantage.
Okafor no good on the second. He has 9 points to lead the Tigers. Lopez looking for Torres inside. Pass a little too low.
Well, these Madison Park seems like they've settled down a bit. Looks like Coach Wilson's going with a stronger lineup to have some more quickness. Now that they're going three-quarter court. O'Brien, all you want to do is you want a ball fake before you make the pass.
Good swing for the Tigers, but 3 is airballed that time. Torres. He thought about a 3.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Sort of in between
And
the 3 and the pass.
unfortunately, both hands hit the ball when he bounced it. I think he was going to launch it, but then he realized how far away he was.
Over to Okafor, who fires up a 3 that goes off the back iron.
Nichols again.
Torres, top of the key, can't get it to go. Izabazua with the rebound. McCusker, corner 3, you betcha.
Yeah. He just goes to his favorite spots. And his teammates know it. Another bump and foul. Coach Brock's frustrated at this because he's just giving Madison Park free throws every time there's contact.
If you're O'Brien right now, too, you have an 18-point lead. You're deep in the second quarter. There's no reason to be reaching in.
Stopping the clock and just letting them take their time to score. There you go, Dennis. I mean, he's loud all the time anyway.
Yeah.
I'm really wondering if it's our backboard mic that's letting us hear him so clearly. I mean, we're hearing like everything he says.
Yeah. I think folks can hear him in Dorchester with the way his voice travels.
I'll tell you. There's 2 more free throws.
Knocks it down. Well, the one good thing for Madison right now, their free throw shooting, which has been terrible to start the year, has been outstanding today.
So what's that, 11 for
I think they're 11 for 12 or 12 for 10 for 11, excuse me. McCusker can't hit that one. McCusker with the steal. Ba thought about a 3, now to Okafor. Ba looking for an opening. Okafor lost it on the way up, goes off of Madison Park.
Madison Park reached in and knocked it away.
20 seconds left to go on the game clock, 13 on the shot clock here for O'Brien. Inside to Okafor. Airballed the baseline jumper.
Chance for the final shot.
Thompson.
I don't think he realizes it.
And Torres couldn't get it off quick enough.
Neither player realized that the clock was running out.
And that's going to do it for the first half here at the Matadome. For the Battle of the Complex, right now it's O'Brien with the upper hand. They're on top 35-19.
A lot of energy. A lot of
energy out of the gate for the Tigers.
Right. The first quarter was all Tigers. That's what the difference is in the game is right now. Madison Park finally settled down the second quarter, made some shots, but more importantly, defensively, they were there for whatever reason. And it's unusual for a Dennis Wilson coach team.
That's right.
To come out with very sort of a lax type of attitude in terms of playing defense. They let O'Brien get any shot they wanted in that first quarter. Totally gave O'Brien that quarter. Came back. They're still down 16, but at least they're showing some signs of life on both ends, offense and defense.
No question. I mean, that struggle out of the gate just really put them in a big hole.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, luckily, the free throw shooting really
Well,
helped them in the
like
second
you said,
quarter.
that's they actually have more than half their points are from free throws.
That's right.
And if O'Brien's going to make the mistake of getting themselves in foul trouble, putting Madison Park in bonus for the third and fourth quarters, that's going to give the Cardinals a chance to come all the way back.
That's right. Well, we'll see if Madison can adjust, especially defensively. But for the Tigers, meanwhile, I mean, they have so many. They're rotating a lot of guys in and out, but they also have a lot of guys who've contributed.
Oh, no doubt about that. And the big fellas, the two big fellas inside, they're moving the ball well, moving the bodies well, getting the good post work, and they're rebounding both ends. So O'Brien just has to get back to what they did in the first quarter.
We'll see if that's the adjustment they can make. Our Dennis Wilson, the head coach of the Madison Park Cardinals, is with our sideline reporter, Michelle Fenelon. So, Michelle, take it away.
I used to have my own sports show. Oh, go ahead.
I'm alongside Madison Park head coach Dennis Wilson. Coach, you told your team on the bench, this is just a game. Relax. However, this is not just a game for you. How do you relax and coach knowing a win would give you your 400th career victory?
Well, God has blessed me to be doing this a long time. And through the years, you gain experience. You never get too high, never get too low. And you got to realize that, especially when you're coaching young kids that I have, that this is a big game for them. They want to win for me. They want to win for them. They want to win for the school. But it happens, it's a process. You know what I'm saying? You can't get upset with turnovers. You can't get upset with dunks because it's only 2 points. So I got to calm them down and make them understand 2 by 2. We got to get some stops. We got to play better defense. We got to rebound.
They did come out a little high in that first quarter, but managed to settle in. What changed?
Well, I think my guys started to settle down. We started making a few shots. But, again, we're still not rebounding like we need to. We're giving them too many second and third opportunities.
What does this team have to do better in the second half in order to win this game?
We got to play better defense, and we got to rebound better. And a couple of guys got to calm down. We got a couple of young men that are a little bit too emotional.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Michelle. Take care.
Pat.
Thanks, Michelle. Glad we could break Dennis out of his shell. Always fun to hear from him. But you know,
I was wondering because you have these like 4 or 5 quotes you use every year. you pull that one out when we have Dennis.
Hey, he makes it easy for me.
Oh,
so that's why I like
right.
to talk about
yeah.
him like that. But he's right, and he mentioned all the experience too. He's had teams like this that are younger. He's had teams that are state championship caliber,
No
like
doubt.
he had just about less than a decade ago. So he knows how to adjust to these types of things.
It's just a matter of identifying what you have, and like you said, the couple of players. I think he's talking about his guards because he had a lot of turnovers in the first quarter, but. Just like you said, start make a few shots, things start turning around. Nichols, I like his energy. He's sort of leading the way. If they can keep that going, then it's up to O'Brien. I mean, O'Brien did have full control of the game, and you'd think they are still in full control up 16. But the way that the play is actually going, O'Brien's now having more challenge shots.
Right.
Madison's changed. They must have changed their defense at least 7 or 8 times in that first half. Dennis will keep doing that because he has all these things in his head. He knows he probably has a book of defense in his head that he can just call a timeout, tell them to do something different. But you got young players who aren't used to really changing on the fly.
That's right.
So I think that's how you ended up with McCusker wide open like 3 or 4 times there in the second quarter.
So we'll see if Madison can clean that up here at the half. We'll see if the Tigers can get back to what they did to start the game here at the break. Folks, we're going to come back in just a few minutes with our halftime stats and a few highlights before we get going with the third quarter here from Madison Park High. Make sure you stick around.
It appears these hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.
Welcome back to Madison Park High School in Roxbury, here for Game of the Week. Battle of the Complex between the O'Brien Tigers and the Madison Park Cardinals. O'Brien on top 35-19. And folks, we're going to take a look at the halftime stats here at the break. And first up, it's going to be the Madison Park Cardinals, and there you see Nichols at the top.
Yeah, most of this happened in the second quarter. Madison went the first 6 minutes of the game without a point. Okay, Nichols, like you mentioned, 8 points. Worked hard inside for those. Lopez added 4. Nichols had 7 rebounds. Thompson with 7. Torres and Lopez 1 assist apiece. Just not much ball movement on the Madison Park half-court offense.
And you see the O'Brien halftime
O'Brien,
stats.
Oka for the big fella inside, 9 points. McCusker outside shooting, which we know he can do. 8 points for him. Wiles with 4 rebounds. Okafor with 3. Pierre, the point guard, a couple of assists, and Mendez, his partner in the backcourt, both of them with 2 assists for the first half for O'Brien.
And we see Okafor in a lot of the stats there for the Tigers. We get some halftime highlights of him.
Yeah, this is Okafor. They know how to play with big guys. I like the way he moves. He posts up well. Once he sees a mismatch, goes right to the basket. That was the play. He actually just shot that through 2 defenders. Again, good hands, be able to catch it and just use the heights. You can make an easy shot.
So the AC Okafor working hard down low. Our sideline reporter Michelle Fenelon has another update for us. Michelle, what do you have?
If you're wondering why O'Brien came out in that first half with a lot of defensive intensity, it's because the Tigers are treating this game as a must-win game. Head coach Drew Brock told me, he told his team, I don't want to be a part of history. He said, look, I like Coach Wilson. I want to see him win his 400th career victory. However, I don't want to see him get it against me. He said if he does, he will never live it down. Pat.
Thanks very much, Michelle. Pretty good motivation there for Coach Brock.
Say, it was a good job for Michelle to get that little piece, too, because a lot of times you don't think about the other side of it.
Sure.
We talked about Dennis Wilson having the chance to get the 400th win, but quite frankly, you're competitive on the other bench. So I'm not surprised if Brock doesn't want to be the one who's, okay, the 400th came against O'Brien.
Right, because that's how it'll go down in the record books.
You don't
how
want to see
did he
that
do
pride.
it against O'Brien? It's like when you have those players that, put up career, 50 points, 60 points. You don't want to be the team that gives that up.
There you go. Exactly. Exact same thing. You're right.
No question. So Madison Park still with a little bit of work to do if Coach Wilson wants to get his 400th win here tonight. But we did see some good things from the Cardinals there late in the second quarter. Going to the basket a little bit, getting fouled, hitting their free throws.
That was the key.
And he talked about rebounds as well.
They need to just, what they did in the second quarter, they have to duplicate that both the third and fourth quarter. And even though it's a 16-point game right now, that can turn around very quickly.
No question. Folks, we're going to head to a quick break. When we come back, we will have the start of the third quarter here on Game of the Week for Madison Park High between the O'Brien Tigers and the Madison Park Cardinals right after these messages. Don't go away.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Madison Park High School in Roxbury for our matchup and game of the week between the O'Brien Tigers and the Madison Park Cardinals, the neighboring schools here on Malcolm X Boulevard. We mentioned Coach Wilson earlier. He's at career win number 399. If he can pick one up here tonight, it'll be number 400. But Madison Park still with some work to do. Down by 16 here to start the third quarter. Karuma for three, short with that one. And it's going to go out of bounds back to the Tigers.
Nice hustle by Slayton trying to knock it off McCusker, but he stepped on the sideline.
Good swing for the Tigers. We get a foul over near the sideline. I think that's going to be on Nichols.
Yeah, on the pass, McCusker slid to that corner for the three-pointer, but on the pass, before the ball got to him, there's a reach-in foul. What Madison is doing is it's like you double-team the ball twice in the half court.
Before looking for Wiles underneath. Ball was poked away. It's going to stay with the Tigers.
Yeah, Wiles looked like he got kicked in the shin, trying to rub that off.
Pierre rattles home the three.
Same three-quarter court pressure that we saw in the first quarter from O'Brien.
Nichols inside. Scores off the window. Count the hoop in the horn.
You know, you mentioned see that big. He is only listed 5'10", but he's playing a lot bigger than that. Gets it inside. He has Mendez on him. But before the big fella can come across defensively, gets it on the backboard.
Completes the three-point play. So 16-point lead still for O'Brien. Mendez buries it through.
Well, for the short time, nice steal. It's going to be a travel in the lane as good steal by Wiles, but I think they're a little excited going to the basket.
Cardinals had numbers as Lopez just couldn't get that one to fall. That was halfway down the rim. And then Karuma lost it on the way up.
Just bad luck on that sequence, like you said. Point-blank shots. Neither one could go.
Wiles inside, wide open underneath.
Yeah, Slayton that time was sort of caught in between. Steal by McCusker.
Almost airmailed that pass. Now it's McCusker off the swing to Mendez, and Manny Mendez with his second three of the quarter.
Yeah, timeout Madison is it. One of two things are happening. Either the players aren't rotating correctly, or Dennis just has to change the defense because they clearly are giving up wide open looks. Pierre hit one early. This is the one from Mendez. He's going to force the timeout.
11-3 run there for O'Brien to start the third quarter. That's extended their lead to 24.
Yeah, with 3 threes out of their 11. So not the way Madison wants to start out. Madison actually, I thought they had some success, even though they're undersized. They're not as big as O'Brien in the front court, but they actually, I thought, made a little bit of their run in the second quarter when they went man-to-man. They definitely pressured the ball well. And we hear Dennis yelling out, box out, every time a shot went up for the Tigers.
See, Coach Wilson tries to diagram the play here on his clipboard. But
sometimes when you're in a half-court zone, you don't necessarily want to trap, but you want to be aggressive. And it seems that some of the Madison players are getting caught in between, either going to a player or laying back to try to help out. Lyles got that wide open layup because there was just no rotation, then of course the three-pointers speak for themselves.
That goes out of bounds off of Madison Park's Giovanni Williams.
There's your guy, Pat.
Here comes Foster. Antoine, very good receiver for O'Brien in the fall. Saw Antoine take a pass over the middle in their playoff game and just go 64 yards.
That's one of your favorite plays of the season, right?
It was, that was the best play, I think, in the for any City League team that I saw. McCusker off the back iron.
Well, Foster, yeah, impact right away. Boxed out, forced a foul on Okafor.
Antoine's a very good athlete. We saw him running all over the football field. He also, I believe, played safety for the football team as well. So certainly a rangy player, and of course has good size.
Dribbling gets you in trouble all the time.
Wiles is on the other end. He's going to get 2 free throws.
Karuma is looking over to the bench because he knows he's coming out after that. Yeah, he's trying to dribble the ball between 3 defenders, but there's no way that, even though he got knocked down, but that's just part of the play. So you just got to be smarter with the ball.
Wiles hits the first. Constantine Thompson coming back in for Madison Park as Slayton heads to the bench. Slayton, just a sophomore. He's one of those players where Coach Wilson's trying to groom to become one of his constant starters here.
Well, that's the thing. If the players are going to commit to learning, that's the key thing. As young players, you want to improve every season.
Foster inside, doesn't get the hoop, but he's going to get 2 free throws.
All he did was to stay active. I mean, there were 2 Tiger defenders there, but Foster stayed in between, kept his hands up. Watch. Looks like they had the ball. Try to knock it off Foster. Gets it back and just try to squeeze it up.
Antoine knocks down the first.
Well, you talk about the football play between him and then the quarterback from Tech Boston. A couple of the plays he made. Boston football had some amazing highlights this season.
We did. we saw a lot of them. Yeah, Julius Gillard's going to be fun to watch. Just a sophomore for Tech Boston. McCusker, open corner 3, buries it.
Now on that one, that clearly was Karuma just being late getting there.
McCusker with another steal. Kicks it up to Mendez. Mendez inside to Pierre. I think one too many passes there for the Tigers. Here comes Karuma back down the other end. Gets the layup.
Well, right back comes the Tigers. Wide open 3.
McCusker. Thompson off the trap. Lopez fires, buries it. That's a 2.
Get that line drive shot. You know, it looks like it's not quite going to get these. He made a couple of them. He made one in the first half and then that one there. That's going to be a timeout. O'Brien takes a timeout.
Oh, Wiles got hurt again with that leg injury.
They're going to bring.
Wayne's really hurt. Hopefully it's just a cramp or something of that nature.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's in pain. He's just, I think you're right. I think it's just a cramp.
Okafor. Thompson with the rebound inside off the McCusker miss. Karuma. Sort of a wild shot there as here comes McCusker again. Mendez corner 3. Manny couldn't hit that one. McCusker with the rebound. Okafor. Off the double team, he's going to get 2 more from the stripe.
Again, you gotta like the way Okafor uses his height and uses his body position himself, make it easier for his teammates to make entry passes. A lot of big guys that get down to the post and really not give a lot of movement doesn't help out the passing angle.
Okafor now with 10 points for the Tigers. Knocks down both free throws, substitutions. Again for the Tigers with more young guys coming in. Scarborough back in. Along with Izabazua and Jesse Hammond.
Yeah, Foster just got lost totally and snuck under the basket. Get an easy layup.
Corner three well short. Offensive rebound inside, and it's going to be Hammond heading to the free throw line.
They did a good job sneaking in between two rebounders for Madison Park.
Hammond actually a senior for this Tigers team. And he cannot hit the first. Coach Brock mentioned how O'Brien under 50% for the season as a team at the free throw line.
Tough.
They've been a little bit better today.
Today's a little bit, but under 50. That's for the season. That's a recipe for losing records.
Hammond off the steal. He's going to get 2 more.
He came a long way. He was already in the front court when that pass was made. He sprinted and then jumped to get it. Watch. He sprints and jumps to get it. Nice strong move to the basket to create the contact that earned 2 free throws. Well, now they're getting back to regular. They just missed the last 2, so they're what, 7 for
12 right
12 now? Yeah.
Hammond makes the second. Back to a 25-point lead for the Tigers. 3.5 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. Karuma
Pass it.
gets the hoop and the foul.
Yeah. Foster actually did a good job. He was posted up, but then he slid away to give Karuma the room on the baseline. So you watch Foster, he'll go away under the hoop. That opens up a little bit of space for Karuma to get that shot off.
Musa with his first field goal. We'll see if he can complete the 3-point play. He cannot. Hammond on the drive, gets the floater.
Good finish. Looks like O'Brien's actually doing the same thing they did in the first half, getting themselves building up fouls that's going to get Madison Park in the bonus. Well, both teams have five team fouls, but Madison Park, more understandably, they're taking chances defensively to try to get some turnovers. But O'Brien keeps having these fouls outside. Now they're going to bring the starters back in.
Yeah, wholesale substitution, like you mentioned, starters back in for the Tigers. That's stolen away, but then right back by Foster all the way to the rim.
Finish.
You see the quickness there from Antoine Foster.
You got to wonder if he had a tough week of practice or didn't do something right, because
or missed practice altogether. That'll happen too.
Because he's made an impact here in the third quarter where he clearly would have been a big factor in the first half. It is again. He sprints downfield, down court, and just is open.
Foster again with the layup.
Well,
my apologies. I think that was Ivan Martins with the layup. Pierre inside, tries to drop it down to Okafor, but it was a little too low for him.
One of the few times empty possession for O'Brien.
Ruma trying to feed it inside. Foster again gets blocked by Okafor. Here comes Mendez. Wiles to McCusker. Nothing but nylon.
Loves those corners.
And Coach Wilson wants a timeout here. 1:46 left to go in the third quarter. 26-point lead here for the Tigers.
Yeah, I think Dennis is just going to talk about the press breaker, which they're not using too well. I mean, they've gotten a couple of hoops out of the breaking the press, but they've also had a couple of steals, which you just can't have that if you're trying to make any kind of comeback. The three-point shooting, I tell you, for O'Brien, that's the major part of this big deficit.
No question. We've talked about this over the last couple of years, too, how much the game has changed at all levels with three-point shooting. And I think McCusker's taken at least 10, if not more. Yeah. Probably made five or so, but he's made 4. But, you know, it's crazy because leads can get extended so quickly because of the three-point shot.
Right. And on the other end,
evaporated at the same time.
You can come back, right, exactly. Because a lot of times, if some of those, if you go through a stretch where you miss 3 or 4, a long rebound comes out, your opposition has like a ready-made fast break.
That's right, sort of kickstarts it.
Right. So you're right. It can really boost your lead, or it can actually help your opposition get back into the game. It's all a matter of making and missing.
And Madison not very successful from the three-point line so far tonight. I think they have just one by Slayton.
Well, that's a big difference. We're talking about a 26-point lead.
Foster
just use a football move, get the ball, and
a little stiff arm.
Just push McCusker off.
Nichols there for the putback. I'm sorry, it was Nichols with the putback for Madison Park. Wiles now, and he not shying away from contact, will get 2 free throws.
I think Nichols reached in on that one. Yeah, Nichols, well, actually Nichols and Foster both there. For Madison Park, you got 1:25 to go for the end of this quarter. So I'd like to, if they can, try to get 6 or 7 points in a row before the end of the quarter to make it feel like you'll have a chance to get closer. But right now, the three-point shooting, like I mentioned before, is just sort of killing them.
Torres, that was halfway down the rim.
That's the second time he had one that just rattled out.
Heck of a rebound by Lopez as Nichols hits it from the top of the key. Nichols now with a double-double for Madison Park. Mendez, corner 3. That's a killer.
And the corner 3 in general, a lot of players like it. It is the shortest distance for the three-pointer.
Mendez couldn't hang on to the Wiles pass. Here comes Madison. It's Foster. Straight to the goal. Gets the basket and the foul for the Cardinals.
Yeah, my guess is he was on punishment for the first half because this is the kind of play you need with that kind of size and energy.
Foster now with 7 points. He'll try to complete this three-point play. And he can't get it to go. So he might have had a lane violation on Madison Park. 30 seconds left here in the third quarter. 24-point lead for O'Brien.
Shot clock has not been an issue the entire game.
These teams have been firing as soon as they get a chance. Okafor, nice move to the basket. Good defense inside from Foster. And that is going to do it for the third quarter here at Madison Park High. The O'Brien Tigers hanging on to their 24-point lead thanks to some three-point shooting by Conan McCusker and that man, Manny Mendez. We're right back with the fourth quarter here on Game of the Week.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework. He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's just gotta
trying as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
Welcome back to Madison Park High School in Roxbury as we get ready to start the fourth quarter here on Game of the Week between the O'Brien Tigers and the Madison Park Cardinals. Next week, folks, we got a good one. Friday, January 24th, 6 p.m. at Latin Academy High. It's the Tech Boston Bears, two-time defending state champion and city champion Tech Boston Bears taking on a very good Latin Academy Dragons team. That'll be live on Boston City TV at 6 o'clock next Friday. Make sure you tune in for that one. Okafor. And
travel.
Took
Yeah.
an extra step.
He knew Foster was winding up to try to get a block shot, so just slid that extra step. That's another travel. Good job by Wiles coming up, taking away the passing lane.
Start the fourth quarter. O'Brien with 4 players in double figures. They're really spreading the ball around offensively. Off the give and go, and Wiles couldn't flush it home. Lopez down the other end off the nice look fake.
Good job. Nice pass by Torres.
Lopez now with 10 points for Madison. Mendez, fancy finish by Manny Mendez.
See, with Foster out there with his size, it's allowing Madison Park to go man-to-man.
Corner three for Lopez off the back rim. Okafor up to Mendez. It's stolen away by Thompson. Foster trying to bring it back. It's knocked out of bounds by Wiles, so that'll stay with the Cardinals. Mendez forcing the issue. Pierre inside to McCusker. Block inside by Thompson. Mendez for 3. Foster with the steal. Here comes Antoine Foster. Going up for the slam. He's short with it, but it's
teammate bailed him out.
For the putback. All right, Lopez, excuse me.
Lopez ran with him to get the putback.
Mendez converts off the window. Well, Manny quietly has had a nice game.
He really has, yeah.
17 points now for the Tigers for Manny Mendez. Wiles. Wayne will get a couple of free throws. There you see Thompson was kind of in between. Should I take the charge?
Right.
Should I try to block the shot?
And while he's deciding, he's sliding over. Yeah, when you move like that, you're always going to get the blocking foul.
Coming back in from Madison Park, Johnny Sotomayor. And also Ivan Martin's coming back in for the Cardinals. Wiles knocks down the front end of the 1-and-1. He'll have one more. Thompson coming back in. Foster going to get a break now. guess they're not allowing that substitution. I'm surprised after that first make. Wiles no good on the second. And another turnover. Mendez hits another one. He's got 19 now for the Tigers.
This seems like every unforced turnover has turned into points for O'Brien. Really being alert.
Lopez, top of the key, can't get it to go. Foster with the rebound. Lopez tries again, short with that one. Gets his own, had his own rebound. Now we're going to foul on O'Brien.
Yeah, reaching. That was Scarborough on that one. Oh, was it Wiles? If it was Wiles, yeah. He fouled out.
Trying to sort something out at the scorer's table.
Well, they're saying that Wiles fouled out.
Right.
Yeah. So we just want to make sure. It's like Coach Brox is making sure that that's the right call.
Mike Nichols coming back in for Madison Park. Also got some chance for Cedric Fulsador to get into the ball game. He has not gotten time yet for O'Brien.
Five-second violation. Good job by Lopez defensively. The 1-3-1 zone now for O'Brien. First time we've seen that. Steal.
Mendez can't get that finish to go. Putback is good from Ibrahim Ba. Lopez with a runner, can't get that to fall. McCusker with the rebound. Mendez, Ba, corner three, short with it. And that's going to be a turnover that time for Madison Park. Ivan Martins.
Yeah. O'Brien's just done a good job making these passing angles difficult for Madison Park, especially the long passes.
Benji Pierre back in for the Tigers as Manny Mendez takes a seat. Under 5 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. 29-point lead for O'Brien. Cusker firing from deep, and he buries it.
Good job by Pierre setting that up, and it was almost like a sliding pick, but didn't have any contact and set McCusker up for a wide open three.
Back down the other end. Can't finish over the top. McCusker gets blocked inside. Martin's inside. It's poked away by Pierre. Good hustle play.
Point guy came out of nowhere. You're right. Watch Pierre. One of the smallest guys out there. Hustle to make that defensive play. Gonna be a holding foul inside as Foster just came back in, went right to the post.
Foster completes the three-point play. Or knocks down the first.
Two shots.
Sorry,
two shots.
the,
Right.
1-and-1 knocks down the front.
It was a common foul under the hoop.
Foster with 10 points here in the second half. drive there for O'Brien, but unable to hit that shot was Cliff Mendez. Lopez inside to Nichols, who gets another hoop and the foul.
That's the creeper. Chance for a three-point play. We talked about how the three-point shooting is. See Nichols working inside. Not as active this half as he was in the first half. But he still does have 17 points. That's his first miss in the free throw line.
Good swing for the Tigers. Here comes Ba down the baseline. He's short with that runner. Almost stolen away, but now it's Nichols off the crossover. Now off the up fake. He's going to be short with that three. That's going to go off the top of the backboard. And now we got a crowd favorite that's about to check in for the Tigers as Cedric Fulsador.
That's what they were yelling. Couldn't really understand what they were yelling, but there he is.
We want Cedric.
Yeah.
As we mentioned, because it's the battle of the complex, two teams right next to each other. We got a nice crowd here, both Madison and O'Brien fans.
O'Brien's been much louder because they've had a lot more to cheer about.
That's right. Corner three, short that time.
Cedric's teammate messed him up on that one. He's standing on the sideline. Cedric thought he was in the corner. He passed him the ball out of bounds.
Musa off the window. See, Madison has some guys who you could see,
something to work with. Something to work with, exactly.
It's just a matter of putting it all together. Nice block inside there by Musa. Naruma all the way to the rim, and he's going to get fouled on the floor, but he's also, O'Brien's now going to be in the double bonus, or with 10 free throws. So Madison will be in the double bonus. Musa going to shoot 2 free throws.
This last 2:25 for this game may take a little longer with all the free throw shooting.
And Karuma rattles home the first. Can't hit the second. A lane violation, I think, on O'Brien, so Musa Karuma will get one more. Bryant's pass a little too far ahead.
A little too much on that one. Juden couldn't pull it in.
We look at both these teams, and Madison, certainly young, a little bit of inexperience. Guys are going to get a lot of playing time this year as they try to develop. Meanwhile, for O'Brien, they're off to a slow start, but they have good pieces that seem to,
if they can
combine for a good team.
Well, that's the key is, like we said in the open, you've got to try to put together 2 or 3 wins. I mean, they got a win back in December. They didn't get the other one until the first week in January. So, okay, tonight they get back in action again next week, but they go out to St. John's Prep, which is a
tough game.
It's a strong program.
That's right. Then they come back with Cardinal Spellman at Cardinal Spellman down in Brockton. Spellman's sort of an up and down program. Right. Then they come back East Boston, who they've already beaten. Corner 3 this time for Bryant. Good steal. Block inside that time from Smith. look at Andre Smith, number 33. Coach Wilson talked about him being a guy that they're going to try to develop, especially.
There's always a few string beans
lengths.
every year.
Can play inside, but he's about 120 pounds soaking wet. But as we mentioned, a lot of juniors and sophomores for this Madison Park team. Foster and Thompson are the 2 seniors, and they'll be moving on. But you got a ton of young guys that are going to be coming back next year that are getting a lot of time this season.
And the question is going to be, how many of them are going to commit to the off-season program? How many are going to play off-season ball, either AAU, Summer League, BNBL, travel teams? And because Dennis Wilson does give, he gives instruction. He tells them what they need to do every day during the offseason. So combination of running, in some cases lifting weights, drills. If they're going to do it, then they'll come back mentally prepared, and they'll feel better physically. Because you're talking about some sophomores, undeveloped bodies, and it's it all just sort of, all the pieces. The player has to decide, okay, I am going to commit to doing all this. Nutrition, like I said, regular running and all the other pieces. If they do that, when he comes back for practice, right after Thanksgiving next season, you'll see a difference from the first day. And that's how you see these teams turn around from, a really poor record one season, and the next year, well over 500. That's what the hope is. For teams like Madison, who are really struggling with trying to get wins.
If you're Madison, too, with all these young guys, you have an established program where obviously you've got a coach who's been doing it forever, who's won city championships, who's been to the state championship, who's had a lot of success.
Right.
You have banners all around you on the walls. I mean,
at some point, it's like it's almost like the coaches have to hope that the player will say to himself, well, why not me?
Right. Yeah, that's a great point.
And it's like the simple answer is you got to do the work. You've got to do the work, and you've got to listen. And that's a lot. And I looking at this game, Madison was down double digits within the first 3 minutes. And a lot of mental mistakes, never mind the physical mistakes, never mind missing shots and not working for rebounds, but the mental mistakes, unforced turnovers. There were like 4 traveling calls in the first 2 minutes. You're just giving the ball away to your opponents. So if you eliminate all those types of things, then you have a chance to really develop, okay, how good can we be?
Karuma knocks down the first. Musa, one of the sophomores for Madison. Musa certainly get a lot of time tonight. We saw Lamari Slayton hit one of the few threes that Madison has knocked down tonight. We see Andre Smith in there, the tall, gangly big man for the Cardinals. And Cedric trying to get that one up there, but was blocked inside by Smith. Nichols back down the other end, couldn't finish. Ball gets knocked out of bounds. It's going to go back to Madison. Well, you look at this Tigers team, like you mentioned, the schedule doesn't get a ton easier, but you do have a few more games in the city coming up. But you got East Boston, Dennis, Yarmouth. They're going down to Bishop Feehan. Then they play Latin Academy, who's a tough team. Fenway always feisty. Then they play Madison again. They got Tech Boston again. So,
a tough schedule.
They do have a tough schedule. and I think that O'Brien is going to have to. They can still make the tournament, but they gotta string together some wins, pick up 2 or 3 in a row, win 4 out of 6.
That's exactly what happens.
6 out of 8.
That's the challenge. That's the challenge. I think, and with young players, they're so emotional about how things are going. A big win, or a big score, basically a blowout win, is helpful because it makes them feel like, okay, what we're capable of doing.
Cedric could not finish it underneath. The crowd was waiting for that one. As Karuma scores the layup back down the other end for the Tigers. Battle of the Complex this year.
Goes
Start the season goes to the O'Brien Tigers. They get back to their winning ways, defeating Madison Park 78-56. And for the majority of this game, Madison with a 20-plus point lead after that barrage of points in the first quarter there. And they sort of did it from all angles. You know, the first quarter, mostly for O'Brien, it was scoring inside with Okafor and Wiles. Then you saw to start the third quarter and a lot of the second half, McCusker and Mendez sort of lit it up from the perimeter.
Well, and that just shows that they do have that inside-outside game, but for whatever reasons, they just haven't been putting in much together. We pointed out they have a couple of close losses, a 2-point loss, a 3-point loss. Obviously, those can go either way. But the overall, tonight, Drew Brock has to feel good about how this team performed. I mean, they, like you said, jumped out quickly, definitely had more energy in that first quarter. The first 5 minutes of the first quarter, they're already up by double digits.
That's right.
And in reality, they never allowed Madison Park to get any closer. So, good win. And like we said, we looked at their schedule coming up. It's rough. They hit the road, and they're going to play some bigger teams. So it'll be Okafor and Wiles, and the other big guys are going to really have to be solid inside for them to try to string together those wins you were talking about.
That's right.
To get them on some kind of a roll.
That's right. Sometimes a road trip with a couple of games on the road in a row can help a team, or it can be very difficult for a team. So that'll be an interesting test to see how the Tigers do for the rest of this season. Folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll have our Game of the Week MVP and our game-winning coach, along with the final stats here from Madison Park High, right after these words. Don't go away.
Foster safety. Foster hope. Foster joy. Foster curiosity. Foster support. Become a foster parent, because every parent makes a difference. Foster, Massachusetts.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be?
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck.
So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
First time I tried Vicodin, it was laying around my mom's house. And then I kept taking them whenever I could get them. I didn't know they'd be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Do you want to retire like a champ? Just like legendary basketball star Uncle Drew?
Don't do it like that, Uncle Drew!
You're already acing the game. You've got your dream ride.
Don't be slamming my door.
Sorry about that.
You just did the same.
Gotta get the boys. Your dream vacation and your dream team. And now you can make your retirement just as legendary.
I get buckets.
Get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again. But an awkward silence can be a great thing, like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Queen is just my everything.
His smile did it. His smile, his eyes, his knowledge. My landlord, he decided that he wanted me to move based on the fact that I was transgender. Let's just respect people in everyday life for just being human.
No doubt you're going places, young lady.
Thank you. And thank you for the interview as well. I can imagine it was the last thing that you wanted to do after such a long campaign meeting.
You really are a very intelligent young woman. You're very smooth.
You're very smooth yourself.
You have no idea.
Why is my son having trouble in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with my son over his homework.
Home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No. He's smart, but his mind wanders.
7 wonders of the world.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking, now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back to Madison Park High School here in Roxbury. At the conclusion of Game of the Week, the O'Brien Tigers defeating the Madison Park Cardinals here at the Battle of the Complex. And we mentioned how both teams have struggled out of the gate, but certainly a nice win here for O'Brien as they try to get back to their winning ways. And we mentioned all the different ways that they were able to extend their lead throughout the game. And it seemed like when they started hitting those threes in the third quarter from Conan McCusker and Manny Mendez, that's when everything
really opened up. You're right, and that's you never can tell because the big fellas for O'Brien played well in the first half. They were controlling both backboards, and but 3-point shooting, we mentioned it during the game. It can balloon a lead, or it can actually help your opponents get back in the game if you're missing them. For O'Brien, they were making them, and that ballooned the lead.
That's right.
So those two guys really took control of the game and made it more comfortable in terms of the margin of victory.
That's right. So our player of the game is Manny Mendez. He's joined by Conan McCusker, the head coach of the O'Brien Tigers, Drew Brock. So, Michelle, take it away.
I'm alongside the MVP of this game, Manny Mendez, the captain of the O'Brien Tigers, Conan McCusker, and head coach Drew Brock. Manny, 19 points for you. What was your mentality coming into this game?
My coaches told me before the game that keep swinging in, let the game come to you, and my teammates hit big shots, and I also hit big shots, and we just came out with a good victory.
Playing a rival in Madison Park, how much did you guys get up for this game?
We're very excited because we've been playing varsity since I was a freshman, and Madison has always been a big game for me, so I just knew I had to step it up this game, and all my teammates did so too.
Thank you. Congratulations on the win. You are the captain of this team, knowing this was going to be a big game. What did you tell your team?
I think just keep playing hard, just keep pushing the ball, just keep doing what we do best, and we came out with a win.
Coach called this a must-win for you guys. How were you able to get out and win this one?
It was definitely a must-win game. We had a couple games that slipped away from us, but we really needed this one. And just playing OB basketball, we got the job done.
Thank you. Congratulations. Coach, same thing. You called this a must game. Why was winning this game so important?
Well, we're playing against our rivals, and, we share a building with them. And, Dennis has a way of getting his kids to really get up for the game when it's against O'Brien. And, not to mention, like Conan said, we've let 2 games slip away this season, so I don't want to let a third one slip away.
Knowing that this was a rival game and a big game for head coach Dennis Wilson, how were you able to control all the emotions?
Well, you know, for me, there was really no emotion. I just told my guys I don't want to be a part of history on that end. I want to be a part of history if I do something or my team does something. I think Dennis is an incredible man, a hell of a coach. As much as I like him, I didn't want him to get his 400th against me.
Now that you weren't a part of history, we can talk a little bit about Coach Wilson. What has he meant to you in your coaching career?
I mean, you know, a lot of times we get done with practice, and if I don't have a game to go scout and Dennis is playing, I come and watch him. I've learned from him how he handles the kids. He has some very good kids, but he also has some very tough kids. And he has a way where I actually said in the locker room, I said, half those kids listen to Dennis Wilson more than they listen to their parents probably. He just has a way to motivate kids. And not for nothing, when I got the job at O'Brien 10 years ago, the former coach before me and Dennis Wilson, they reached out to my headmaster and, you know, really put in a good word for me.
Thanks, Coach. Congratulations on the win.
I just want to say one thing. I usually have my son here. This is the first interview that he wasn't here because he has his own basketball game. So I just want to say hi to my baby boy, Drew.
Thank you. That.
Michelle, thanks very much. So Coach Brock's now been here 10 years, which is crazy because I remember when he was the head coach of Snowden. And then his young son, who used to always be in the interviews, this tiny little guy, is now playing basketball. So that's how long we've been doing Game of the Week. Folks, we're going to take a look at the final stats here from Madison Park before we sign off. And first up, we got the Madison Park Cardinals.
Yeah, Madison Park, most of this in the second half, they had a good second quarter, but they really couldn't carry it over to the second half. Nichols ended up with 18. Foster, who only played the second half, ended up with 10. Nichols had 15 rebounds. Thompson with 13 rebounds. And then the assist, Torres 3 and Lopez 2. Madison Park just was not consistent at all on offense.
Let's take a look at the Tigers' final stats.
Oh, much better. Mendez, we talked with Michelle just now. Yeah, both 19 from him. McCuster was 17, 36 between those two guys in the backcourt. Really gave them a strong lift along with the guys inside. Wiles and Okafor both had rebounding as Wiles had 5, Okafor had 3. It looks like it's low rebounding, but it's because a lot of the shots were going in.
That's right.
and so it's that happens. An assist, of course, Pierre, the small point guy, was 6 assists, and McCusker had 3 himself.
So a nice night here for the O'Brien Tigers as they get back to their winning ways. They pick up their 3rd win of the season, I believe. Here, we'll see if they can string together some more here and try to get back to that 500 mark, and that's where it always helps. Right around state tournament time, you got to get to that 500 mark if you want to make the states. Folks, this was a fun one here at Madison Park High. We want to thank you very much for joining us. If you want to watch this game again, you can go to our website, www.cityofboston.gov/game of the week. All the games from this basketball season will be up there. You can also check out the football games if you want. Antoine Foster's playing a bunch, so you can check him out on both the gridiron and the hardwood. You can also go to our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/Game of the Week Boston. A lot of good links and different updates about what games we're going to be covering. Some different news about different players as well. We always try to put some great stuff up there on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter @BostonCityTV. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. As we mentioned before the 4th quarter, we're heading out to Latin Academy next Friday for a great game between the Tech Boston Bears and the Latin Academy Dragons. 2 more rivals from the same neighborhood squaring off over at Latin Academy.
And they're both having good seasons.
Without question. 2 of the top teams in the city next Friday night at 6 o'clock on Game of the Week. Well, for right now, we're going to say so long from Madison Park High and Roxbury. We'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.